1997. A small city in California, America. A man forgot to return a videocassette, and the penalty for that mistake was $40. But that shame of $40 changed the entire history of the world's entertainment. This is the story of Netflix, the 1990s. The internet was still in its infancy, no smartphones, no streaming. Back then, there was only one way to watch a movie, the video rental shop. And the king of that world had only one name, Blockbuster. Blockbuster was not just a store, it was a culture. Going to Blockbuster on a Friday night with the family, it had become an unwritten tradition of America. But Blockbuster had one small problem, one rule, the very rule that was the foundation of their empire. That same rule would become their greatest enemy. 1997. Reed Hastings, a software entrepreneur from California. One day, he rented the movie Apollo 13 from Blockbuster. It was supposed to be returned on time, but under the pressure of work, the cassette just sat at home. Days turned into weeks. When he finally went to return it, the counter clerk informed him. Late fee? $40. For Reed, this wasn't a large amount of money, but it was humiliating. He thought to himself, I returned it a little late. Just a few weeks late. And now I owe $40. On his way to the gym that day, one single thought kept circling in Reed's mind. A gym never says, if you don't come for 100 days, you'll be fined. A gym runs on a monthly subscription. Whether you go or not, the fee stays the same. So why can't movies work the same? But Netflix is not just Reed Hastings' story. We must speak of another man, Marc Randolph. Reed and Marc worked at the same company back then. Every single morning, they drove to the office together. That daily car ride became their brainstorming session.
Marc brought new ideas every single day. Let's sell customized shampoo online. Let's ship customized cricket bats. Let's sell pet food over the internet. Reed would shoot down most ideas. This won't work. There's no market for this. This isn't practical. Then one morning, Marc said, what if we rented DVDs online? Reed paused. This time, he didn't shoot it down. DVD, Digital Versatile Disc. It had arrived in the American market just a few months earlier. Thin, light, crystal clear picture, and, most importantly, small enough to fit inside a standard mailing envelope. Reed and Marc tested it that very day. They bought a DVD, slipped it into a paper envelope, dropped it in the mail. The next morning, the DVD arrived at Reed's house. Intact, not a single scratch. The two men looked at each other and smiled. And in that very moment, they made their decision. This is it. August 29th, 1997, Scotts Valley, California. Reed Hastings and Marc Randolph officially registered a brand new company, Netflix, Inc. How did the name come about? Net, the internet. Flix, the old slang for movies. Netflix, movies on the internet. Simple, memorable, perfect. April 14th, 1998. Netflix.com went live. The world's very first online DVD rental service. You went to the website, picked a movie. It arrived in your mailbox within a day or two. You watched it, slipped it back into the prepaid return envelope, dropped it in the mail. Done. But the model at launch wasn't what we know today. It was a simple pay-per-rental DVD service. Order online, wait for delivery, watch, return. Just like Blockbuster, except the store came to your home. And at this point, Blockbuster wasn't worried at all.
In the first year, Netflix didn't perform spectacularly. The business was running, but profit wasn't coming. Every month, they were losing money. Reed and Marc sat down and faced the truth. Something fundamental had to change. September 1999. Netflix launched a completely new business model, the unlimited subscription. No late fees. 3 words. An absolute revolution. Because the number one complaint every American had about Blockbuster was exactly that, the late fees. Blockbuster was making hundreds of millions of dollars a year from nothing but late fees. It was their dirty little secret. Netflix stood up and said, "We have no late fees. Not now, not ever." And people came running. Then they went back to that gym analogy, that monthly subscription idea that had started everything. What if we applied it here? Reed flew to Dallas, Texas, Blockbuster's home base. He sat across the table from CEO John Antioco, and he laid it all out. Buy us, acquire Netflix, we'll become your online division. You handle the stores, we handle the internet. Together, we're unstoppable. The price? Just $50 million. Blockbuster's executives looked at each other, and then they laughed. They said no. That day, Blockbuster turned down the chance to own the future of entertainment for just $50 million. They thought, this scrappy little online company is no threat. They're losing money. They're small. They're irrelevant. They were wrong. Catastrophically, historically wrong. 4 years later, Blockbuster finally woke up. They saw the numbers. They saw the subscribers. And they panicked. They launched Blockbuster Online. No late fees. DVD by mail. Copying everything Netflix had built. But the damage was already done. You can't buy back trust. You can't buy back time. 2010. Blockbuster filed for bankruptcy. $900 million in debt. The empire of 9,000 stores had crumbled. Store by store they shut down. Staff losing jobs. Shelves going empty. A giant falling in slow motion. Today there is exactly one Blockbuster store left in the entire world. In Bend, Oregon. 2007. Broadband internet had spread across America like wildfire. Households were getting faster connections every year. And Reed Hastings was watching closely. He began to ask himself a simple question. Why are we still mailing DVDs? If the internet is fast enough, why not deliver movies through it directly, instantly? No waiting, no envelope, no mail. In January 2007, Netflix made an announcement that would change everything. For the first time, subscribers could watch movies directly on their computers. No DVD, no shipping, no waiting. Just press play. They called it Watch Instantly. It was clunky at first. The library was small. The quality wasn't perfect, but the idea was undeniable. This was the future, and then Netflix did something that shocked everyone. They didn't just stream other people's movies, they started making their own. House of Cards. Orange is the New Black. Stranger Things. A DVD rental company had become one of the world's most powerful studios. Today, 2026, Netflix's subscriber count stands at over 270 million. Across more than 190 countries. Wherever you go on this planet, Netflix is there. In languages you've never heard of, with subtitles and dozens more. Stories from every corner of the world, delivered to a screen in your hand. And Blockbuster? The company that laughed Reed Hastings out of the room? The one that refused to buy Netflix for $50 million? When Blockbuster's assets were finally liquidated, everything they owned sold for just $30 million, less than what Netflix offered to sell itself for. The irony doesn't get much richer than that.
The story of Netflix is not just a story of a company. It is not just a business school case study. It is a story of timeless lessons that apply to every person watching this video right now. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and share it with someone who needs to hear this story. Drop a comment below.